going on there, YouTube land and also some social media lands? Welcome to an all new video. In this video, we're going to be reviewing a new movie that just came out last Friday and is a film that a lot of people have been wanting and not wanting for a long time now. So let's get right into that. Before we do that, make sure you hit your subscribe button so you don't miss this video and the other videos I put up. As always, people, if you enjoy my content here on YouTube, definitely check out my other social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all those great places. I pretty much post on a regular basis, so definitely check those out. As always, people, let's get right into this. So welcome one and all to an all new video. So like I was saying before, we're going to be doing a review of a new movie that just came out last Friday. And it's a film that a lot of people have wanted and not wanted over the years because of how disastrous supposedly the last film was. And that, of course, is a film called Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. Yeah, Honor Among Thieves, Dungeons and Dragons, yeah. So this solid film is amazing, awesome, excellent, one of the best films I've seen in a long time, and this movie just kicked butt. Absolutely loved it, thought it was fantastic, just a really well-rounded film that had everything you were looking for in a Dungeons and Dragons type of film, taking that whole game to a new world and giving us exactly what I feel a lot of people were expecting from the film that came out in 2000. Now, this film happens to be directed by none other a great duo of directors who have directed a few other films over the years, known as John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein. Yeah, John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein. Yeah. So if you're not familiar with these guys, John Francis Daly, you might recognize from the TV show that was one season long back in the late 90s, early 2000s called Freaks and Geeks. That's what he's most known for, but he's gone on to be a writer and director, along with Jonathan Goldstein, who has been a producer, writer, director for many years as well. Now, these two guys, I think, really make a really great directing duo. They have a really good sense of each other, and they have a really good idea of what they want to bring to the screen. Now, with the few movies that they've made together, they have made some really successful films that I think are just really enjoyable, and this film is just as enjoyable as the other ones. Now, another film they directed that you should definitely check out if you have not seen is a great film that came out in 2015 that is a part of a great series of films that started back in the early 80s called Vacation. Yeah, Vacation. Yeah. So Vacation is a great film that they both directed that stars, of course, Ed Helms, Christina Applegate, Scarlett Gizmo, also Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo reprise the roles of their characters from the original National Lampoon's Vacation films. And this sequel reboot to that franchise is just a really excellent film. Super funny, lots of great gags. Debbie Do Anything that Christina Applegate is, when she was younger in the film is absolutely freaking hilarious. And I just thought John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein did a great job of bringing us this great new addition to that great series already. I felt they kept the same vibe, the same ideas as the original films, from the first film to European Vacation to Vegas Vacation to Christmas Vacation. They all felt the same, and this film felt exactly the same, and I thought they both did a great job of bringing that to life, giving us good comedy, and just all around a great appearance of great celebrities themselves in this film as well. And I just thought it was a really great movie. And I thought they just directed it very well. If you haven't seen Vacation, definitely go check it out. It's really fun, really amazing, and John and Jonathan did a great job of bringing that to life. Now, like I was saying before, I think they did an amazing job with Dungeons & Dragons. I think they gave us exactly what we were looking for. And I love how amazing this film was and how it felt like an actual movie again. I didn't feel like there was anything added to this film. It felt like it was actually just a movie. Pure entertainment, pure goodness, just pure fun with great action, great comedy, and just great visual effects as well. And I loved everything they did with the film. I loved the direction they took the characters. I love how they used the characters. I loved how they brought in elements of the game itself and applied it to the film. It gave us just a really solid, film based on a great board game. If you haven't seen Dungeons & Dragons yet, for Jonathan Goldstein or John Francis Daly's directing, go check it out now in theaters. They did a fantastic job as directors. So this film has a really great cast of actors and actresses that are just amazing, awesome, and pretty much anything they've ever been in, they are really fantastic. They have made lots of great films, and they all bring a really fun energy to the film, that just makes it a great whole. Now, of course, to start us off is one of the main characters himself, Mr. Chris Pine! Oh yeah, Chris Pine! Woo! Chris Pine! Yeah! Chris Pine! Oh my god, Chris Pine. Love this dude. He is so fantastic, so awesome. He is such an amazing comedian, and I wish he would do more comedy because he is just so good at it. But he also is really good at dramatics. He's also good at, action. I mean, he's done a lot of great films. I mean, you might recognize him, of course, from films like Horrible Bosses 2. You might recognize from films like the Based on True Story that was basically, about the ship that capsized called The Finest Hour. You might recognize him from a slew of other films over the years that he's done, Just My Luck, a lot of great films, Wonder Woman's, of course, and he's just a really solid actor, and, I totally did not realize that his dad was the guy from Chips, one of the sergeants, one of the main guys from Chips. And so I think that's funny that, he has just as great a presence as his dad. And I think that he does his own thing and makes it even funner. So I just think that, he got a gift from his dad, most definitely. But I always find it funny when I remember that his dad was the main guy in Chips. But Chris Pine is just a really fantastic actor, like I said, and I absolutely enjoyed him in this film. He was so fantastic and just did a great, amazing job. And I absolutely loved his character, the Bard. He was just so super awesome, and he just was a great joy and had some of the greatest one-liners throughout the whole entire film. Now, another great film you might check him out in if you haven't seen him in anything else or just haven't seen him in this movie is a great film that he portrays the great Captain Kirk that was so beautifully done by William Shatner in the new trilogy of Star Trek films. And the one I thought his best performance in was really the third film in the series, called Star Trek Beyond. Yeah, Star Trek Beyond. Yeah, absolutely love Chris Pine in this. He was so awesome as Captain Kirk, but at the same time, I just thought he was a solid performance in this film, working along with Carl Urban, Zoe Saldana, Simon Pegg, all these different actors and stuff like that. And he just does an amazing job of bringing that character to life and giving it a whole new meaning of who James T. Kirk is. I love that he makes himself different from Shatner, but at the same time, he just does a really good job of giving us a really solid performance. And he's so funny in it, and so action-packed, and does a lot of great stunts throughout the film. And I really enjoyed him in it. I thought he did a really fantastic job. And I just liked what he brought to the character and gave us for a different interpretation of James T. Kirk. If you have not seen Star Trek Beyond, definitely check it out for Chris Pine's performance. He was really superb. But like I said, he was phenomenal in Dungeons & Dragons. Absolutely loved him. Think he's fantastic in it, and just overall, he did a superb job. If you have not seen anything Chris Pine has been in recently, go check out Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves in theaters now. He was phenomenal. So that brings me to the next actress I like to talk about that was in this film, and that is none other than one of the main characters, who is just a superb actress. Is just always fun to watch, and she always puts great effort into her characters, and I always enjoy them. And that, of course, is Miss Michelle Rodriguez. Oh yeah, Michelle Rodriguez. Woo, Michelle Rodriguez. Yeah. Oh, Michelle Rodriguez. Awesome actress. Absolutely loved her. Love her as Letty, of course, in the Fast and Furious franchise. She has been fantastic in that. Can't wait to see her in Fast X and what she brings to the character, because she has just really evolved that character a lot, since her first outing in the first Fast and Furious film up to Fast 9. And I just really enjoy what she's brought to the character and given us really solid characterization and growth on this character. But you also might recognize her from other films over the years. She was in the first Avatar film, and she's been in several other things as well, Resident Evil, so forth. But she is just a really great actress, and I always enjoy her, and she, once again, was just really fantastic in this film. Really enjoyed her as her character. I loved what she brought to it, and I loved her whole backstory and her love story in the film, and I just really enjoyed what she brought to the character. Now, another great film she was in that I think is one of her best. I absolutely loved her in this film. I thought it was such a great film. It doesn't get enough recognition for how good of a film it was. And that, of course, the film called The Assignment. Yeah, The Assignment. Yeah. Now, this is a fantastic film where she basically plays a hitman who is originally supposed to be male, and she actually plays the character in disguise as a male. They did all the prosthetics and stuff like that. That basically ends up getting a sex reassignment surgery that he didn't want into a woman. And then that's when, Michelle Rodriguez becomes Michelle Rodriguez in the film and not in all the prosthetics. And basically the film is just an awesome freaking fantasy action-packed film that is just so amazing. And I absolutely loved what Michelle brought to the character. She was daring. She was awesome. She kicked butt. She really brought to light this Frank character that she was portraying that was, a man that is unfortunately, given a sex surgery, a reassignment surgery that he doesn't want. And I just enjoyed everything she brought to it, and it was just a really cool story. And Michelle just really played the character to the T. Really phenomenal film. If you have not seen it, definitely check it out. It's been out for a while. You can watch it on Vudu for free. It's a really amazing film. Definitely, if you haven't seen Michelle Rodriguez in anything recently, definitely go check her out in The Assignment. She was really phenomenal in it. But I really enjoyed her, like I said, in Dungeons & Dragons. She was perfection. She worked well with Chris Pine and everyone else in the film, and she just brought a real funness to this character. I loved her motherly instincts throughout the film, but also I loved her badassery too as well, being this kick-ass person that can kick butt, but at the same time be very compassionate, loving, and motherly. And I just really enjoyed that, and I loved how she was kind of somewhat a little bit like Letty a little bit in the film as well. You definitely see that some of that has bled through into her other characters, and I just really enjoyed that. If you haven't seen Michelle Rodriguez in anything recently, go check her out in Dungeons & Dragons, now in theaters. She was fantastic. So it brings me to the final actor I like to talk about that was in this film, and that is none other than the magician himself in the film, called or named as Justice Smith! Oh yeah, Justice Smith! Woo! Justice Smith! Yeah! So Justice Smith, you might recognize from a slew of things over the years. You might recognize him from his TV show that was on HBO. You might recognize him from Sharp Objects that was just recently released on Apple TV. You might recognize him from other films he's done over the years. But he is a really solid actor. I really enjoy him. I think he's fantastic. He's awesome. He was great in the Jurassic World films. He was super funny. And overall, I just thought he was just a really great person to add to this film. And I really enjoyed his characterization, and I thought that he did a great job as a magician. He had a lot of great comical lines. He had a lot of just overall really fun. And I just really enjoyed his character in the film. Now, another film, if you haven't seen him in it, that is a really fun film, and I think it's the first film I really, really enjoyed him and thought he was his best acting in, was a great film that came out in 2019 called Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Yeah, Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Yeah. So I never was really a huge Pokemon fan. I didn't know who the characters were. It kind of came out, after I was already an adult, and I liked some of the characters. Thought they looked cool, like Pikachu and stuff like that. So I was like, when it was coming out, I was like, this seems like a cool film. That might be interesting to check out. And so when I saw that Justice Smith was in it, after seeing him in Jurassic World, I was like, he might do a good job. And watching this film, he was so fantastic as his character. Absolutely loved what he brought to the character. I loved his interaction with Pikachu himself. I loved his interactions with the main female character in the film, and I just really enjoyed everything he brought to it, his growth throughout the film, and I just enjoyed the little funny things he brought to the character throughout the film. And I just thought it was one of his best. I really enjoyed his endearing moments. I enjoyed his heroic moments. I enjoyed his, sad moments and all that kind of stuff, and I just thought it was a full circle character that worked really well, and I thought Justice just did a really good job with it. If you haven't seen Justice Smith in anything, definitely check him out in Detective Pikachu, Pokemon. He was really superb in the film. But I really enjoyed him in Dungeons & Dragons. I loved him as a magician. He was so fantastic. Did an amazing job. I loved his interactions with Chris Pine and with Michelle Rodriguez's character, Hugh Grant. All the different characters out throughout the film. And I just thought that he worked really well and had a really great chemistry with the film and just gave us a really solid magician character that was entertaining, fun, and yet you really liked him and enjoyed him. If you haven't seen Justin Smith in anything recently or haven't seen him at all in anything, definitely go check out him in Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. He was really amazing in it. I just want to throw out a couple honorable mentions that are also in this film. Hugh Grant, he was amazing as the bad guy. He was so fun, so awesome. It was great seeing him in something more recent where, he gave us great Hugh Grant vibes. I absolutely love him. I think he's fantastic. And I just really enjoyed seeing him play this character because he was to it to the T. It was so fantastic. Then shout out to also Bradley Cooper for his quick little cameo in the film, playing this. I think he's supposed to be like a borrower or a that type of character, maybe an elf or something like that. That is actually Michelle Rodriguez's old boyfriend in the film. That was absolutely hilarious. The funny thing about that was actually he filmed that after they had already filmed the scene. And gave his cameo in it. So I thought that was a really cool little factoid for you guys. And I just thought it was a really great cameo, and it was fun seeing him in the film. And I just thought those two guys are great honorable mentions that were in this film as well. They were just super fantastic. And also, of course, anybody else that was in the film, they all did a fantastic job. And I really enjoyed all of them, and they all just did, I thought they made a fantastically done film. Really well done. I just think this movie is fantastic. There's so many great moments throughout the film. When the elf creature, unfortunately I can't remember her name at this moment. It's like some weird name. It's like Korta or something like that. She turns into the owl bear. That was like super cool. I love that. Whenever she turned into that, she kicked butt, and that was so cool. Like, who thought of that? An owl bear? Like, what is that? Like, it's a bear and an owl mixed, and you're just like, that is like super cool, because those are two great creatures that could really, work for them, because an owl can move its head, 360, and a bear is super strong and muscular. It's like, that would be cool. So that was really awesome throughout the film. I love when she first pops up into that character, the elf creature, half human or human elf creature. She actually is I think a human, but she is adopted by the elves, which I thought was really cool. But throughout the whole film, there's so many great sequences. There's some great action sequences. There's dragons. The fat dragon was absolutely hilarious. Oh my god, I was cracking up the whole time. It was so freaking funny because apparently the dragon hasn't fought anybody in centuries, and so he's grown basically and gotten fat, and I think that's absolutely a fantastic concept and idea, and I just loved it. I thought it was super funny. And he basically looks like a chubby cat. It was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. And then you got some great other scenes where there's some really great dialogue between the characters, and it's such an amazing film. Absolutely loved it. I think it's a 10 out of 10 Golden Movie Box stuff. I thought it was a really great movie. It was so super enjoyable. Gonna go see it again in theaters here. I want to make sure I get to see this in theaters several times before it comes out on 4K and Blu-ray. This movie is just one of the best I've seen in the last 3 years. So amazing. If you have not seen it yet, definitely go check it out in theaters now. Really well worth it. Great film. Deserves its 91% on Rotten Tomatoes. It is a amazing stinking film. Absolutely fantastic. If you have not seen it, go check it out now in theaters. So that's it for this movie, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Also, thank you for subscribing. And if this is your first time here, or you haven't been here before, or have been here before, definitely check out the older and newer videos you might not have seen mine yet. As always, people, if you want to show support for the channel, definitely check out my links down below, either from my Patreon page, where my patrons, when you subscribe, get all kinds of extra accoutrement you don't get here on my YouTube channel that nobody else gets to see, like outtakes, bloopers, and all that kind of cool stuff. As always, people, if you enjoy horror films and are a huge horror movie buff, definitely check out the Horror Pack link, where you can get great horror films to your door every month for a great low price. Definitely check that out. As always, people, catch you in the next one.